can I just say something? Can I just say that if you see somebody and you're at a job and you don't normally see this person at a job, but they look official and they are doing something, it's perfectly okay to ask them what they're doing, what's going on, especially if it's something that pertains to you. What's not okay is to flirt with said person while they're trying to do their job, especially if they look like they're not into it at all. That is all I'm going to say about that. And that, my friends, is how my day is actually going. It was that, and then I have on like linen overalls. Don't judge me, they are the most comfortable things I've ever worn in my life. But the strap fell into the toilet after I peed. So now I am in my dungeon, freezing cold with no pants. But I am here for you because I love you. Hello and welcome back to Geeky Girls Night In. How's that for an intro? My name is Leslie, and tonight it is just me, myself, and I. So I hope everybody is doing well. You had a productive week. I apologize again. Last week the episode was late, but I didn't have a whole lot of time to edit and upload like I normally do. Plus, I wanted to get Quinzel on, and we had to mesh schedules. So before we kick off, just a few reminders. Number one, as far as the plagiarizing that we talked about last week, Nora Roberts put out a blog post about it, and I linked to it on the Geeky Girls Night In Facebook page. So that's there. Also, on Geeky, it sounded really bad. On Geeky Girls Guide to Life, Quinzel wrote a blog post about Selma Blair and her Oscars, her showing up at the Oscars, and with her recent diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. Did you guys know that Quinzel has multiple sclerosis? And sometimes she uses a cane. She talks all about it in her blog post, so make sure you go over to Geeky Girls Guide to Life to check that out. All right, let's get started. So tonight, I have foregone my usual tea, which may not make any sense since I said I was freezing cold, but I was also very thirsty, and tea is not a, guzzle it down type of drink. It's kind of a sip and savor thing to me anyway. So tonight I have a Canada Dry diet ginger ale, and ginger ale is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. However, with diet ginger ale, a lot of times it's super bland. Canada Dry changed its formula. I don't know when, but the ginger is kind of more intense in it, and I appreciate it because #diabetics want flavor too. So there you go with that. What are you drinking? Let me know on Twitter. Use the hashtag what you drinking so I can see and respond. In book news, some kind of interesting news. I joined Kindle Unlimited roughly 3 months ago. I talked about it on here. I got a special deal. It was 99 cents for 3 months, and then it went back to the regular $10 starting in February. Well, I enjoyed it so much, I went ahead and I kept it, which, I absolutely adore it. That combined with my library membership, my public library offers me the opportunity to check out books digitally, which is what I do a lot of times. So that way I don't have to go to the library and I don't have to worry about overdue fees. But because I joined Kindle Unlimited and Facebook knows your every single move, I've started to get not book recommendations, more like book advertisements. And one of those book advertisements was for Kimbra Swain's books, Fairy Tales of a Trailer Park Queen. And I know that sounds weird, but bear with me. There's 11 books in the series so far. The most recent book just came out this month, and it's called Bright-Eyed and Bushy-Tailed. And I flew through all of these. They are so good, and they're so sweet. And a lot of Southernisms in them, and things that I've heard before because I have Southern relatives, and things that I haven't because my Southern relatives are Black and these people are very white. So with the exception of like maybe one character, Remy, I think it's a very good series, and I think it's something you should check out. Basically, a fairy queen was exiled from the fairy realm, and now she lives in a trailer park in Alabama. So if that doesn't pique your interest, nothing will. She runs into all sorts of troubles, all sorts of mythological creatures, and it's interesting to see. And it shows that no matter where you're at, you can make yourself a home. And that's exactly what she does. And that's kind of what we all do, isn't it? You know, if you go off to college, you find those people that you have in common, and you make a family. Or, you know, you go out into the working world immediately and you have your work friends, and, you know, you guys are a family. So go ahead, make an acquaintance with Grace and Bryant, who is high class fairy trash. And I'll leave a link to the first book in the show notes, and let me know if you read it, and let me know if you enjoy it. I would absolutely love to have some people to talk about it with. In other news, the D&D game that I set up looms closer, and a month went by very quickly. I have barely had a chance to pick up this book to read it and prepare for our game. It is this Saturday, and it was going to be in the evening, but there were some scheduling conflicts, so it looks like we might be doing it in the morning. I still need to hear from one other person to see if that's the case or if we need to reschedule. If we do, it's no big. You know, we're all very flexible and we're all very new at this, so we'll see how it goes. And I think that it's kind of a long-standing joke with D&D that it's kind of like herding cats, trying to get everybody together, you know? So, I mean, hey, we're right on schedule with that, right? Right. So, also, speaking of games, Gen Con is getting closer and closer, and I'm having a little bit of issue. See, I was told that I have a media pass, but I haven't gotten confirmation. And I was declined because it said it had already approved a media pass for this particular account. So I need to reach out to them and see what's going on with that, because I want to see your lovely faces there and maybe learn a new game or two. I really want to go back into the game testing room where you're there with other people to test a game. That was absolutely a blast. That's where I tested the boy band game. And you know, now that I'm branching out further into gaming, it would be nice to, you know, test some more. So we'll see how that goes too. In other gaming news, last week I mentioned that I had started to stream The Sims 4, and I've done it a couple more times since then. And I realized early on that it wasn't, you know, saving the videos to Twitch. And I didn't realize that that was something that I manually had to do myself. And I also didn't realize that the software that I'm using automatically records it. So all I have to do is upload it to Twitch. So if you go to my Twitch page, ANDWYN, Anduin, I have uploaded a couple of those gaming things that I did. And you can see them and offer critiques if you would like. I would appreciate that. Like I said, I was just fooling around with it, so I don't have on headphones and I don't have a mic, so I'm not talking. I also don't have a webcam on my new computer. So that's something that I may think about in the future if I start to, do this more seriously. I get a lot of promo codes to try out games and to test games, and I think that this would be a great opportunity to do that. So I hope to do it more, but I do have a full-time 9-to-5, so I would have to find the time in between my job, my podcast, my blog, and, my family. So they miss me too sometimes. Also, this weekend was a very busy weekend for me. If you look on Instagram, you will see a ton of pictures. I was at an event downtown in Indianapolis. I had a blast. And I got to go to a comic book shop. I don't get to go to them very often. I believe there is one by my job, but I have yet to find it. I should do that. Unfortunately, I picked up volume 2, like the compendium of the Rat Queens, and I've already read that. So I think I'll be sending that over to Quinzel. I think she'd enjoy it. And I also picked up the very first issue of Ms. Marvel with Kamala, I believe is her name, and I did not like the ending at all. They turned the brown girl into a tall, skinny white lady. Everybody, though, keeps telling me to give it another chance, so I'll pick up the second one and I'll see where it stands. And I mean, I know that's what she wanted, but come on, y'all. Come on. Are any of you guys playing Apex Legends? My husband told me that it was kind of like Fortnite without all the building, which is the part of Fortnite I can't stand. It's the same thing as in The Sims. I hate building. I'm not good at it. I don't have really good depth perception. And with Fortnite, your hands have to move super fast. And I watch the people on Twitch do it, and they're just all over the place creating these intricate buildings, and when I tried it, I nearly killed myself. So, not my favorite thing. Anyway, he's played it a couple times with friends, and it looks like he's enjoyed it. I have yet to pick it up. I haven't had a chance. So that'll be my next thing to play. Do you like it? Do you have any recommendations? Feel free to let me know. Also, are you a Far Cry New Dawn player? Are you a Far Cry player, period? Because it won't make much sense to you about everybody freaking out about the judge if you haven't played any of the other ones. Do you know who the judge is? And that's all I'm going to ask about that. In food science news, I have taken a short break from making bread and feeding my starter. I was gone, like I said, all weekend, and that's normally when I bake the bread because it's a 2-day process. So there was no point in me, getting it out and keeping it warm so that, because no bread was being baked this past weekend at all. I will bake another loaf on Saturday. I'll start it Friday night. Right now, the starter stays in my refrigerator until it's needed. And I will feed it on probably Wednesday and Thursday. Make the bread on Friday. Might feed it again on Friday. We'll see. And I'll probably dry out some more. I have some already dried out that I need to send out to friends, but I've been kind of lazy on. Also, Quinzel, if you want some starter, you need to let me know too, and I'll send you some and some instructions. I don't know if I mentioned it or not. The person I bought the starter off of is also wrote a book about bread, and I checked that out of the library, the physical library. I actually went to the physical library for this, and I am fascinated by all the different things that you can do with sourdough, and I can't wait to get started. The next thing on my list to make, well, there's 2 things. I want to make a ginger bug. It's kind of like a fermented ginger syrup, and I also want to make fermented garlic cloves with honey. So I love experiments like that. I love food experiments. So it's super fun to me. In TV news, I've been pretty much just avoiding news. It's been rough out there, y'all. Make sure you take breaks, drink water, hydrate yourself, save your mind. when I got home today, my husband had it on CNN, and like, I just get such a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach now that I don't want to hear it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see it. I've been doing some heavy reading about student loan debt and how it's becoming a crisis, but it seems like it's always been a crisis. I feel like I will be paying on my student loans to the end of time. We shall see. In happier news, American Gods returns, I think March the 10th. So that's pretty cool. I plan on reading the book. I haven't read it yet. It's by Neil Gaiman, if you haven't heard of it. The plan is I go on vacation in May, and so I'll take it with me as a vacation book and hopefully read it by the beach. Is it really heavy? Let me know. But yeah, nothing else has been going on around here. I'm really excited about the D&D game, and I hope to bring you details, and maybe I'll have the girls talk on air too. So we'll see how that goes. You can catch me, Quinzel, on Twitter at Geeky Girl Guide and at Geeky Girl NI. Catch us both on the Facebook page, the Geeky Girl Guide Facebook page, and the Geeky Girls Night In Facebook page. Instagram, Geeky Girl Guide, and we do have a Tumblr as well if you're interested in that type of thing. I will talk to you next week. Bye. Geeky Girls Night In is brought to you by me, Leslie. You can find me on Twitter at Geeky Girls NI, on Facebook at Geeky Girls Night In, or in your backyard, strumming dulcet tones on a mandolin, serenading you sweetly. Feel free to shoot me a message if you have something geeky going on that you want announced on the show. You can find written musings by me, Quinzel, or Melissa at geekygirlguide.com. Like the show? Would you like to buy me a cup of coffee? Consider donating to my coffee. That's ko-fi.com/geekygirlsni. Want to send me or the other girls some snail mail? You can reach us at P.O. Box 90232, Indianapolis, Indiana 46290. Feel free to leave a review on iTunes or on the Facebook page. I'll read new reviews, good or bad, on the show. Music is by Makai Beats. Until next time.